Sanbonani, igama lami uSipho Sihle and I'm back with another video. So today guys, I'm gonna be talking the truth, nothing but the truth. So God help me. So before I started this channel, I pledged, like the politicians, when they are elected into a position of a minister or president, you touch the Bible, you touch your heart, then you know how it goes. You even in the court, you promise to speak truth, nothing but the truth. So help you God. So before I started this channel, I did that. I told myself, if I don't have the facts, or if I don't know the subject yet, or I'm not ready to discuss the subject yet, I rather keep quiet than speaking lies. But now I think I'm ready, more than ready. I think my audience is ready. I've been ready personally, but my audience now is ready. So buckle up so we can talk about this. So dear South Africans, black South Africans, I'm talking to you guys. I can't talk about other Africans no more. I'm staring at you straight. I'm staring at you straight right now. We got something to talk about. Why our communities are like this. Let's talk the truth. The truth is, us as black South Africans have done nothing but to deteriorate our communities. We don't know how to build, we know how to break. It's time to admit it to ourselves. It's time to admit it to ourselves. Because of, like, we always, black communities will always blame, okay, let's say white people now give up the land, give up the land. We're still gonna be putting imikuku. It's not like there's gonna be something productive happening. It's gonna be imikuku, then put on more foreigners in your yard, then kashisama foreigner maningi in your yard, then that's it. It's time to speak the truth now. It's time. I'm speaking the truth. Like I said, I'm gonna be speaking the truth. When it's nice thing, because I said in this channel, it's positive vibes, and I'm gonna be making sure that we don't stick to the problem so much. We stick to the solution. But it's important to know what the problem is. So now it's time to get to the root of it. The root of it is we can't build communities. We've been building imikuku. We don't we're not united. If we were united, we would end most of the things. We're still crying about white monopoly, but we are the consumers. We are the consumers. We're still used by these politicians who use these words because of these words we were not used to it. We were not used to the word white monopoly. Now it's a word that's been thrown around by politicians. Now we fall for it. Okay, let's not talk about white people. I think white people, they are good for trying to, they are good for being in their places alone, being independent, away from black people. Away from black people. Black people will only break, deteriorate the place more than building. Put white people in a place, in a community. Give them resources that we have. It's not much resources, but as a community, they would achieve better. They would achieve even better because of they can stand together as a community. Us as black people, that's the problem. Please, people, let's teach our kids in the right. Let's not listen to the government on how to teach our kids. Let the government asibophe sonke. Mina in my house, I still spank my kids with iphaca, with that. I wish they could arrest me. I wish they could bayongibophisa. They could open a case for me. I just wish they could. And it goes to all the parents. We should be punishing our kids. I'm not saying we should be abusing our kids. There's a difference between abusing and punishing. The kids have the power more than the teachers now in schools. How pathetic is that? How pathetic is that? I think we are the problem. We are the problem. Then we forced ourselves in white schools, white neighborhood, white. Then they start treating us differently. Like the kids, they say, there's racism in white schools because of the hair, because of what. Yes, they will send the standard because of they've built these communities. They've built these communities. Us, we don't build nothing in our communities. Then we run away to the white communities. What's the problem with us? What's the problem in our community? Now I can't discipline your kid because you come say, hey, mtanami, what's that? Have we forgotten who we are? Have we forgotten that it takes a community to raise a kid? We knew because of, if we raise a community as we raise a kid as a community, there's no fatherly standard and a motherly standard because of I'm your mother, she's your mother, we are all your mother, and we are all your father. So in that manner, it becomes better in the community. The crime, we can easily reduce crime because of the community is one thing. We know who is who, what is he doing, so that we can open our place for more businesses, for many things to operate in our businesses. What have we done in the past 30 years? Us as black community, don't talk about the government. The problem with you, most of you people are still, glued to the government. Government needs to do this, needs to do that. What are you doing? What are you doing when personally? What are you, let's make it personal. What are you doing as a community? Because in the black community, we've been complaining and complaining about bad sewage, complaining about bad infrastructure, complaining about deteriorating infrastructure. There's nothing we do, Tina. We only looking at the government. Government should do this, government should do that. What are we doing personally, Tina? Meaning, if we wouldn't build a civilization if we was like to be put in a place. Njengamanje, we are put in a place. There's no white soldiers every day coming in our hood. There's nothing that stops us. There's nothing stopping us as a community. Nothing. In fact, if by now we should have built secret societies. We don't have secret societies because of we don't know how to be secretive, how to be discreet as people. We can't do those things. We don't even have our secret societies where doctors, engineers, stay together and build a better place for people. If I'm a doctor, I build I add most of the things about their health in the community, in everything. If I'm a scientist in a community, we make sure that we teach these kids to be the kids that's gonna be picking our communities up. But as soon as they are engineering running to the white communities because of vele bazohlalela nelokishini, what would they stay for in our neighborhood? But if they were raised by the community, they would understand the struggles of the community, so they could make a better community. We have an engineer, we have a doctor, we have a and there's a secret society that's doing all this plan, the architecture, our community. We restructure our community. We make sure that we know how they function. We increase our life expectancy. All we glorify is alcohol. Our kids are everyone is in social media trying to impress somebody with alcohol, with fancy clothes. What's fancy about the clothes? Because of it's just a sheet. There's nothing. It's just a cloth. There's really nothing. I mean, I would buy something it's expensive from a black person. I'm not just buying for because of it's expensive. I'm only buying because it's a black person and I want the business to grow more. That's my that's on my journey now, so that so I can lay also my complaint as a special customer, that you need to change this and that, because you need to change this and that, because that's the only way they can grow. This is how the Louis companies grow. This is how, because of they got support from their people, so they can, then they got the critics there and there, so they can fix what they can fix, so they can elevate. What's the problem with us? Meaning, if you can leave us back in the bush, we would die waiting for the white man to come with a helicopter to save us. Don't you get tired of this thing? Don't you get tired? I mean, I'm tired. I'm telling you. I'm gonna talk the truth as a South African. Most of South African, when you hire them, not all of them, they come Monday, they drunk, and it's glorified that these boys understand me. I drink. Snini, he calls. He's saying he's sick. You don't respect the country. This is not about you personal. People don't respect themselves, that they don't respect the country. They don't respect the community. So how we gonna build as a community if we still have people like this? If we still have members of the community that we are not responsible for anything in the community? I'm saying shout out to the people who are CPF, who are patrolling at night. They are doing something for the community. We have people around who are, people are doctors, are what are police, but they can't even put out 200 per month, 200 rands per month. But they have money to drink alcohol every Saturday, but they don't have 200 rand per month to support the kids that are patrolling, to buy them boots, to make them better equipped. That's the problem with us. That's the problem with us. We always, for our development, we always find something cheaper. But for something we don't need, like we have, I don't know if we have taught at school, we were taught about wants and needs. And I know every school and every, we know what are needs and what are wants. But people need wants and wants needs. I don't know what's happening now. I don't know. As black community, our need is to be building these communities. Soweto should be a thriving community with this number of people. With this number of people, should be a thriving community, a very nice, so it's the most beautiful township in the world, as we are the most biggest township in the world. We should be the most beautiful township in the world. There's no white man stopping us. There's nothing stopping us. It should be black businesses, black people, protecting black properties, cleaning the black hoods, making sure that we have standard for our places. Like I've said, Guti, if you're gonna be selling stuff, you need to have the store. We need to have the standard of certain stalls that we build. You don't just sell anywhere, anytime, and anyhow. We need to set the standard for our places. Like Soweto, how come we're the biggest township? There's no white man stopping us, lava. There's nothing stopping us. But what has changed? I see no nice trees. I see no changes. I still see imikuku. Why are we staying in the same position? We don't want to change. Why we don't want to change? Then we still gonna follow our Julius Malema saying, we need to take the land. I mean, I bet even if we had the land, we would still do the same. We still put mikuku. I feel like this thing is a moral thing. It's a thing that's inside more than it's thing that's outside. This is something we need to deal with ourselves inside. South African, like black South African, we need to deal with this thing inside, not outside. We need to self reflect. We need to self reflect. If we were organized, there wouldn't be so many Pakistanis in our communities. Now people are depending on the Pakistanis when when we are trying to rebuild the black economy. People are so obsessed and possessed with these people that they can't live without them. Like they couldn't live without a white person because they can't do anything. They can't build anything. They can't think for themselves. We can't think as a collective and to build as a community to do better things. That's all I'm asking for. To do better as a community, because you can't do this thing alone. Where's the youth? Where's the youth? Smoking drugs. That's all. We should be the one taking care of this country. We should be the one having people who make sure that our streets are clean every day. We should be having people who making sure that our trees are cut and trimmed. We should be having people who planting trees every day, making sure we have more and more of the trees. We should be having people who make sure that everybody is safe around the communities. We should be having, black businesses supporting the black cause in a black community. Black cause, like having people of ours funding our own development. For an example, if we have shops like the Pakistanis, if we had shop like the Pakistanis, every shop release like